Remember when shopping downtown meant stopping for a hot meal on a real plate with real cutlery? There was a time in Canada when department stores weren't just about buying things. They were about taking a break, sitting down, and ordering chicken pot pie or a turkey sandwich that came with gravy you could taste in your dreams. Today we're digging into 20 Canadian meals that vanished after the 80s. Whether you remember Saturday breakfast at Zellers before hitting the toy aisle, grabbing grilled cheese at the Woolworth's counter with your grandmother, or that one time your family flew Wardair and they actually served steak in economy, you're about to feel a serious nostalgia hit. These weren't just meals, they were rituals. They were where families met, where workers took lunch, where communities gathered. So which one's going to hit you hardest? Let's dive in. Eaton's Grill Room, Chicken Pot Pie Plate. Walk into an Eaton store in downtown Toronto, Montreal, or Winnipeg in the early 70s, and you'd smell it before you saw it. Rich, buttery pastry. Chicken gravy bubbling under a crimped golden crust. The grill room wasn't fancy, but it felt special. You'd ride the elevator up after shopping, slide into a booth, and order the blue plate special. Chicken pot pie with mashed potatoes, peas, a pat of butter melting into everything, and coffee served in a thick china mug with the Eaton's logo stamped on the side. This wasn't fast food. It was sit down, take your time, white napkin dining that cost less than a movie ticket. Mothers brought their daughters, office workers took long lunches, tourists rested their feet. It mattered because Eaton's wasn't just a store, it was an institution. The grill room was where shopping became an event, not a chore. But department store dining faded with retail consolidation in the 80s and 90s. Malls grew, shopping habits changed. People wanted speed. Eaton's itself closed in 1999, and with it went the pot pies, the grill rooms, and the ritual of lunch between floors. Simpsons cafeteria, hot turkey sandwich. Simpsons on Queen Street in Toronto had a cafeteria that smelled like Thanksgiving every single day. The hot turkey sandwich was the star. Thick slices of real carved turkey piled onto white bread, drowning in brown gravy, with a heap of fries and a dollop of cranberry sauce on the side. You could watch the carver work behind the glass, his knife flashing under the heat lamps. This was a downtown lunch standby for office workers and holiday shoppers. Quick service, but real food. No freezer-to-fryer shortcuts. You'd grab a tray, point at what you wanted, pay at the register, and find a seat by the window overlooking the street. It felt efficient and comforting at the same time. Simpsons merged with the Hudson's Bay Company in 1978, and over the next decade, the old in-house cafeterias quietly disappeared. Food courts replaced sit-down counters. Brand mergers killed the unique identities. The carving stations went silent, and with them, the hot turkey sandwich became a memory. Zellers Family Restaurant, Big Z Breakfast. Before Zellers became famous for cheap toasters and seasonal candy, it was famous for breakfast. The Big Z Breakfast was legendary. 2 eggs, any style, bacon or sausage, toast, hash browns, and coffee refills that kept coming until you floated out the door. All for a price that made it a Saturday ritual across suburban Canada. Families would hit Zellers early. Dad would read the newspaper, Mom would plan the shopping list, kids would color on placemats while waiting for pancakes. The booths were red-trimmed, the menus were laminated, the syrup bottles were sticky. It wasn't gourmet, but it was yours. Every mall had one, every prairie town had one. Then discount retail shook up in the 90s and 2000s. Mall traffic declined, Zellers struggled. Target bought the leases in 2013 and failed spectacularly. The in-store diner model died with it. The Big Z Breakfast, once a weekend cornerstone, became a ghost. Woolworth, grilled cheese and tomato soup. The Woolworth's lunch counter was where Canada learned to eat out without breaking the bank. A golden, buttery grilled cheese with a steaming cup of tomato soup. Simple, perfect, warm. You'd sit on chrome stools that spun. The counter had glass pie cases at the end. The waitresses wore paper hats and moved fast. This was the original mall fuel for kids and grandparents, a warm stop during winter shopping trips. You could thaw your fingers around the soup bowl and watch the grill man flip sandwiches in real time. Woolworths and Kresge were 5 and dime chains, selling everything from socks to goldfish. The lunch counter was just one corner, but it was the heart. Then the chains closed or converted in the 80s and 90s. Quick-serve franchises took over. The chrome stools disappeared. The grilled cheese went with them. Woodward's food floor, 149-day hot plate. Out west, Woodward's was royalty. The food floor was a spectacle, groceries mixed with ready-to-eat hot meals, and the famous $1.49-day sales brought rotating cheap hot plates. Roast chicken one week, meatloaf the next, all tied to the sales event that had people lining up at dawn. The food floor wasn't just shopping, it was theater. You could smell the roasting meat from the escalator. Steam rose over the carving boards. It felt alive, bustling, communal. This was grocery shopping before big box stores turned it into a sterile checklist. Woodward's collapsed in 1993. The food floor tradition ended with it. Department stores stopped being destinations. The $1.49-day hot plate, once a West Coast institution, became a story old-timers told at family dinners. Telling and preparing this video took us a lot of time, so if you are enjoying it, subscribe to our channel. It means a lot to us. Now, back to the video. Kmart, banquet burger and fries. Kmart had a lunch counter that served thick diner-style burgers with fries and slaw. The banquet burger wasn't fancy, but it was filling. You'd order after buying school supplies or snow boots, and it felt like a treat. The burger came in a red plastic basket with ketchup squeeze bottles on the table. This was budget sit-down lunch. Not fast food, not fine dining, just solid, predictable comfort. Kids loved it. Parents appreciated the price. It was woven into errands and mall trips across small-town Canada. But Kmart transitioned away from in-house kitchens. Food courts and national burger chains replaced the counters. The banquet burger faded, and with it, the ritual of eating where you shopped. Ponderosa, steak and all-you-can-eat salad bar. Ponderosa and Bonanza were birthday party central in many Canadian towns. Budget steak dinner plus the legendary salad bar. Macaroni salad, beets, croutons for days. Jell-O cubes. You'd pile your plate high, get your steak cooked to order, and feel like you were living large. The salad bar had a sneeze guard and a neon sign. Kids would make multiple trips. Parents would calculate value per dollar. It was a family night out that didn't break the budget. This was affordable celebration, and it mattered. Casual dining trends changed. Buffet-style bars lost ground to faster, standardized formats. Health concerns around shared food grew. Ponderosa and Bonanza locations dwindled. The all-you-can-eat salad bar, once a Prairie staple, became a relic. Mall food court Chinese-Canadian early mall food courts in Canada were dominated by Chinese-Canadian counters. The number 3 combo was everywhere. Sweet and sour pork, fried rice, chicken balls, heaping portions in styrofoam clamshells, stainless trays of glowing sauces under heat lamps. This was Canada's Chinese-Canadian cuisine at its peak. Affordable, familiar, and fast. You could feed a family for under $20. The flavors were predictable, but comforting. Everyone had a favorite combo number. Then, menus modernized. Portions and formats changed. Older mom-and-pop counters closed as rents rose. The number 3 combo, once ubiquitous, became harder to find. The styrofoam clamshells disappeared, and with them, a specific flavor of Canadian mall culture. In-flight steak dinner in economy. Flying Wardair or CP Air in the 70s and 80s wasn't just travel. It was an occasion. Even in economy, you got a hot steak dinner, real cutlery, linen tray cloths. A Sunday cart came down the aisle for dessert, Flight attendants remembered your name. Canadians remember holiday flights as events. Families dressed up. Kids got wings pins. The meal was part of the adventure. You'd sit back, cut into your steak at 30,000 feet, and feel like you were somewhere special. Deregulation hit. Airlines merged. Cost controls pared back full hot meals on many routes. Flying became cheaper, but also colder, faster, less ceremonial. The Wardair steak in economy became a legend, a symbol of when air travel still felt magical. Dining car, prairie pot, roast plate, cross-country rail in Canada once meant white tablecloths and full dining car meals, roast beef, baked potato, fresh rolls. You'd sit in a real chair at a real table while the prairies rolled by outside the window, brass lamps, white china. A waiter who refilled your coffee without asking. This was travel as leisure. Families remember the dining car as the highlight of the trip. The food was good, but the experience was better. You weren't just getting from point A to point B, you were dining on the move. Route reductions and changing travel patterns made full dining rarer for everyday travelers. VIA scaled back service. The dining car became a premium option, not a standard. The prairie pot roast plate, once a cross-country staple, became a luxury few experienced. Church basement tuna noodle casserole with crushed chips. Every Friday night, every funeral, every fundraiser. Tuna noodle casserole was Canada's social glue. Egg noodles, canned tuna, cream of mushroom soup, frozen peas, and potato chips crushed and baked on top. Served in a 9x13 Pyrex dish on folding tables with percolator coffee. This wasn't gourmet, it was communal. Church basements smelled like it. Community halls served it. Volunteers made it in bulk. Everyone had the recipe taped inside a cupboard door. It was cheap, filling, and familiar. Home cooking trends shifted. Health messaging pushed fresh food. The tuna noodle casserole with crushed chips fell out of fashion. Younger generations didn't learn the recipe. It became a punchline, then a memory. But for a generation, it was the taste of community. Lime Jell-O, sunshine salad. The congealed salad ring. Lime Jell-O molded in a bundt pan with cottage cheese and canned pineapple suspended inside. Served on a bed of iceberg lettuce at showers, potlucks, and holiday dinners. Wobbly, neon green, weirdly festive. This was a mid-century showpiece. It looked impressive on the table. It required planning and patience. It symbolized effort and care, even if it tasted like sweetened confusion. People served it with pride. Guests ate it with politeness. Changing tastes and aesthetics killed the gelatin salad. By the 80s and 90s, it looked dated. Food photography evolved. Fresh, colorful salads replaced wobbly rings. The sunshine salad became a joke, then a relic. But it was once everywhere. Mock chicken leg cafeteria plate. Seasoned minced meat formed on a stick, breaded and fried. Served like a cutlet on brown cafeteria trays with a milk carton and applesauce cup. The mock chicken leg was a thrifty cafeteria standard across Ontario and the prairies. Kids remember the crispy bite. The stick made it fun. It wasn't chicken, but it tasted good enough. Cafeteria ladies served it with a smile. It cost pennies to make. It filled bellies. It worked. Menu. Modernization and nutrition guidelines retired many processed cafeteria staples. Schools moved toward fresh options. The mock chicken leg disappeared, but for a generation of Canadian kids, it was lunch. Boil-in-bag TV suppers. Before microwaves took over, there were boil-in-bag suppers, plastic pouches of beef tips, turkey slices, or chicken and gravy. You'd drop the pouch into boiling water, clip it to the side of the pot with a clothespin, wait 15 minutes, and dinner was done. This was a late 70s, early 80s convenience wave. Mothers who worked full-time loved it. Kids didn't complain. It was faster than cooking from scratch and tasted better than the early frozen trays. It felt modern. Then microwaves became standard. Frozen trays replaced stovetop pouches. Packaging norms evolved. The boil-in-bag supper became obsolete, but for a moment, it was the future. Fondue night, beef bourguignon at home. The suburban dinner party hit of the 70s. Cubes of beef cooked at the table in hot oil or broth. Multiple dips, baguette, salad. An orange enamel fondue pot on a teak tray with long forks for everyone. Every wedding registry had a fondue set. It was sophisticated. It was interactive. It was fun. Guests cooked their own food. The host relaxed. Conversation flowed. Fondue night was the ultimate 70s flex. Trends shifted to lighter, quicker meals. Home entertaining styles changed. The fondue pot went into storage. Beef bourguignon at home became a memory. But for one shining decade, it was the height of Canadian hospitality. Tableside flambe at hotel dining rooms, pan-fried steak finished with brandy and cream, lit tableside for drama, blue flame dancing over the pan, a Garradon trolley rolled up by waiters in white gloves. This was fine dining in Canadian city hotels, Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, Calgary. It was a glamorous night on the town, anniversaries, promotions, special occasions. The flambe was theater, the steak was delicious, the experience was unforgettable. Insurance concerns, training costs, and changing fashion killed tableside flambe. Fine dining theatrics gave way to contemporary plating. Steak Diane disappeared from menus. The trolleys were wheeled into storage. But for one generation, it was magic. Company potluck, meatballs in grape jelly and chili sauce, crock-pot meatballs with a sweet, spicy glaze. Omnipresent at office Christmas parties, retirement dinners, and company potlucks. You could smell them from the hallway, grape jelly and chili sauce, frozen meatballs, low and slow in a slow cooker. This was equal parts thrifty and crowd-pleasing. Someone always brought them. Everyone ate them. They were sticky, tangy, and weirdly addictive. Toothpicks in a Dixie cup, paper plates, standing around the break room. Health and workplace culture shifts ended the communal crock-pot era. Catered platters replaced homemade contributions. The meatballs in grape jelly disappeared from office. Parties. But they were once a staple. Prairie perogy and fried bologna supper. Frozen pierogies boiled and fried with onions. Fried bologna slices on the side. Ukrainian-influenced comfort, crossed with 70s pantry hacks. Cheap, filling, tasty. This was a weeknight shortcut across the prairies. You'd fry everything in a cast-iron skillet. The kitchen window would fog with steam. Onions sizzled. Bologna crisped at the edges. It wasn't fancy, but it worked. Diet trends and fresh food preferences edged out the fried bologna era. The perogy and fried bologna supper became a guilty pleasure, then a memory. But it was once a weeknight savior. Salisbury steak plate at small-town diners, a ground beef patty with mushroom gravy, mashed potatoes, canned veg medley, served on a blue-rimmed diner plate with a chrome napkin holder. This was the everyman dinner at small-town diners across Canada. After hockey practice, after a road trip, after a long shift, you'd slide into a booth, order the Salisbury steak, and feel taken care of. It was predictable, it was warm, it was home. Diners modernized menus. Comfort classics gave way to burgers, wraps, and poutines. The Salisbury steak plate faded, but it was once a staple. Friday fish plate at Legion Halls and community clubs, battered fish, crinkle-cut fries, tartar sauce, coleslaw, served cafeteria style on styrofoam trays, every Friday night at Legion Halls and community clubs across Canada. This was a weekly ritual built around community spaces. Volunteers knew your order. You'd grab raffle tickets, check the bulletin board, eat with neighbors. It was social infrastructure disguised as dinner. Volunteer burnout, licensing pressures, cost increases, and changing social calendars reduced weekly service. The Friday fish plate became monthly, then occasional, then gone. But it was once the heartbeat of small-town Canada. Drop a comment. Share your memory. Tell us which meal you'd bring back if you could. And if this gave you a nostalgia hit subscribe for more Canadian food history and forgotten favorites. Because these meals might be gone, but the memories, those are ours to keep.